TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Bernard Albertson. I did one of him last time of an old man's advice. This is his second video on an old man's advice. A lot of people kind of enjoyed the last one, and I think men need to hear, not just men, just young people in general kind of need to hear some of these things, especially from older people and older generations. We still care, we still love you guys, and we hope you guys do well. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time. I did speed this up 1.25. It sounds pretty good. Again, I'm trying to not do the 1.5 speed anymore. I'll create parts next time. If it's 30 minutes or more, I'll create a couple different parts for the videos. I'm trying to give you guys a better experience. I was chatting with Lawrence and a couple other people, and they're saying, yeah, the speed up, they don't enjoy it too much. So I understand, and I'll try my best to not do that too much.
Good morning.
Mornings. And again, rest in peace to Bernard. He passed quite a few years ago, and his son somewhat still runs the channel, and they don't really make new content, but shout outs to this gentleman, and may he rest in peace, because I think he did wonderful work when he was alive, and to show people that the older generation, our elders, somewhat deserve respect.
I made a video not too long ago called An Old Man's Advice. Wow. Looking at me, it looks like I need to trim my beard a little bit. But I received several requests to continue on with that, and so I've decided to share a little bit about myself and my life and my hardships and my successes with you. You know, this world today is tough. It's tough for young people. It's tough for people that for years have had jobs and security and made good money and been able to take care of their families. And some time ago, as you know, jobs were shipped overseas to improve the bottom line of big companies. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. I quit school when I was in the 10th grade. My mother and father left me standing on a street corner. And so it was up to me to make it. And I had a job working at a Shell filling station. And I went to the owner and I told him my situation. And I was making $1 an hour, and I asked him if I could work more hours.
Remember, $1 an hour back in those days was okay money. Like, he is quite old, so $1. Dude, when I was growing up, minimum wage was like 375 or something. So it wasn't that far off. Nowadays, minimum wage, at least in California, is like 15, $16.
And so I began working 90 hours a week.
Damn,
And
90
during that
hours.
time, as I've said before, my home was the back of an old car. And I worked my 90 hours a week. And I took my baths in a filling station restroom. And I washed my clothes, my private clothes, in the sink. And once in a while, when I was really hungry, I would go to the grocery store and snitch an apple or an orange. Now this was
Shout outs to him admitting that, he did unsavory things. He snitched those apples, which I'm assuming he snatched or like stole. So.
in the 50s. Things were a lot different than they are now. And I'm convinced that the owner of the grocery store knew what I was doing.
Okay.
Because it was about a half a block away from where I worked, and he knew me. Now, I've said before that good things nor bad things last forever. And that's true. And I began to learn different things. I knew in my soul that if I had nothing to offer, I was as far as I was going to go. Now, unemployment at that time was very high. On the other hand, in the 50s, You could go into a corporation and ask for a job and get it. And after I'd worked 90 hours a week for a long time, I went into the service. I was 17. In the service, I taught myself to read and write. The first book I picked up was a book written by Lewis Livermore and had 196 pages in it. I'll never forget it. It was a cowboy story, a western. And there were words in there that I didn't know, I didn't understand. I had no idea what they were. So I got a dictionary from the service library. And as I would read, if there was a word that I didn't understand, I would look it up. And I will tell you now, it took me almost 3 weeks to read 196 pages. But I read. And I continued to read. And in several months, I was reading 2 and 3 books at a time. And I knew where I was in every single one of them. So that's what you can do. A person's mind is incredible. Your mind is as incredible. As a young person, regardless of what's happening in the world today, you have opportunity. And don't you believe for one single minute what they say in the media. Because if you aren't getting ahead and you need to get ahead, position yourself to learn. Go to the library and learn. You are the backbone of this world. Young people, without you, this world is nothing. Nothing. You are the backbone of this world. You are the future leaders of this world. You are the ones that see the greed of the people that are running it now. You're the ones that see the waste of the people that are running it now. We need you. We need your minds. We need your hearts. We need your lives. We need your loves. We need you to care. And I know that you do care. Oh, I see young people stepping on a flag and throwing rocks and rioting. That's frustration. Frustration. It's frustration with the establishment. And I understand it.
I agree.
But that's not you. Don't let that be you. Rise above it. You're
Yeah. Damn, he's getting me on this one. I don't watch these ahead of time, so like I agree with him. Like I said, I love this country. I love it deeply. My family loves this country very deeply. Our country was war torn. Like 80% of our population got genocided by our own leaders because they wanted to dumb the citizens down. Anybody that had any type of education, anybody that wore glasses, anybody that spoke two languages, anybody that had any type of profession, they all got murdered. Why? Because they wanted to create a new North Korea in my country. And the only way to do that is to get rid of all the people that know how things existed before, so all the new people don't know how things can be or should be. Right? And this country gave us the opportunity, opened up their doors for refugees. This is why I don't like, it's hard for me to say about the refugee thing. As refugees, we came here, we worked hard. We built a massive donut empire, right? And it does sadden me a little bit when I do see people do those things. But like Pop says, I understand. It's the frustration of the establishment. It's the frustration of the people that are running things. But the country itself is still a good country. We just kind of need to steer it and, take it by the reins. So, I'm not here to talk about voting or anything like that, but go out there and do things to try to make things better. You don't have to. But if you love the country, put in some effort. It's okay. That's why I'm putting in a little bit of effort. I love the country. I do still plan on leaving. I still plan on becoming a passport bro. But while I'm here, I'm going to put in some effort.
better than that. Rise above it. Anyway, I got kind of off track there. But anyway, As I went on and I got out of the service, I had begun to write and educate myself. I got a little bit of college, and I've continued on through my life with that. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to have a doctorate or a PhD or a master's degree. What you have to have is determination. You have to have an inner will to get things done. You have to have a desire, and I know the desire is there.
It's grit, people. Desire is always there, but it's that grit that you need. The grit is what picks you back up and dusts yourself off and say, it's okay, let's keep going. Most people don't have that. Most people, after they've been knocked down enough, they give up. I'm not talking about dating. I'm not talking about anything in particular. I'm just talking about in general, life in general. Right? So build up some grit, build up that thick skin. Learn from your failures and don't dwell on them. Don't dwell on your failures. Understand them, move forward. Like I said, my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes is stumble forward and stay confused. You're never going to be an expert. It's okay. You don't have to be an expert, but you can keep learning. As long as you keep learning and keep moving forward, you will not be in the same position in life as you were before. I 100% guarantee you guys that. 100% guarantee you. As long as you keep on doing it slowly and move forward, keep learning, you will not be in the same position that you are in the future.
Because as I said before, without your brains, without your ambition, without your drive, this world will be nothing. Nothing, because old people like me die off. I have been successful, not tremendously successful, but I have a decent retirement. I live with my lovely wife in Arizona. I've had financial problems. Everyone has those. But you can't stop. You can't quit.
No.
You can't say, I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You're not. You're a wonderful, strong, intelligent youngster. Take advantage of that. Trust in God. Trust in yourself. And step forward. Put one foot in front of another. Let me give you an example. I've had a couple of businesses. They weren't tremendously successful, but they were successful. I've written books. I have presently probably 13 or 14 books in publication.
Wow.
My latest is Copper Pen.
This gentleman, I'm like blown away. I can't even read and write as well as this gentleman can, and he didn't even finish school. Makes me feel ashamed of myself and my abilities and not trying as hard to get to where I want to be because my reading skills aren't as high as his. It makes me think about my own inadequacies when you hear other people's struggles and how they kind of internalize those struggles themselves.
Penny, it's in paperback on Amazon. Look it up. So you can do it. I did it. You can do it. I'm 76, and to my last breath, I will encourage young people because I love them. I will encourage young people because I know they are the future. You are the ones that must save the oceans. You are the ones that must save the air. Because those that are in power, the bottom line, unfortunately for many, many of those in power all over the world, is wealth.
Yep.
And power over others. So I'm going to close this now, but I just wanted you to know that people like me, old soldiers, old people, we understand. And as old as I am, I would pick up my cane and defend you to my last breath because I love you. So I'm going to stop now, but just remember, never quit, never quit.
Such wholesome chow, Again, rest in peace, Bernard. You were a wonderful man, giving out wonderful advice, and just putting in the work. You know, he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to come on YouTube. He was already successful. He was already doing okay. He had businesses, but he came on YouTube and, you know, gave his advice, gave his experiences, gave his thoughts. This is why I always say, have respect for elders. You know, why? Because they've been in our shoes. They've been our age. We have not been theirs. So they've experienced things that we don't. They've experienced things that we might not ever experience ever again. Like Bernard. There's plenty of stuff that he's experienced that will never be experienced again. Like pumping gas at a gas station for $1. That's struggle. And I know you guys struggle with that. And it's not just for young people. Like middle-aged men, women, you know, it's okay to fail. It's okay to not make it on your first try. It's okay to not make it on your second try. It's okay to not make it after 100 tries. Sometimes it takes 1,000 tries. You don't know, but you have to try. If you don't, then you're never gonna make it. Like, again, I'm not saying everybody has to be striving to be millionaires or, you know, 100K earners, but strive to be better and do better so you can provide better value for the people around you, provide better value for yourself, provide better value for your family. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.